Jets. What is going on, Jet fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Jets Ward. I am your host, Ryan Ward, and I'm so glad to be back. I'm back from Washington, D.C., back in my home. I'm excited to be back with the family. But guys, exciting news. The NFL draft is completed. It ended on Saturday. Sorry I didn't do a live stream on the last day. Got back really late from D.C. and was exhausted. But the first two live streams for round 1 and round 2 and 3, I had a lot of fun with you guys. Thank you for everybody who joined me on that. It was a blast just talking with you guys and seeing your reactions. Had a lot of great people in there and a lot of great comments as well. I love you guys and thank you so much. But getting into it, if you have been here before, welcome back. I always love having you guys back. You are always welcome in the Jets Ward. If you are new here, welcome. I always love having new people here, whether you are a Jets fan or a fan of another team. This is a safe space for you. And I'm happy to have any type of fan. Even if you're just a casual fan who just likes to watch the game of football, you are welcome here too, or just somebody getting into it. I love to teach you and love to talk with you guys about what you guys think. Now, I got a fun one, like I said, in this episode tonight. We are going to be talking about the New York Jets draft picks, and I am going to be grading each one of them. And there were some picks that I loved and some picks that I was like, there were much better players on the board. And I might go on a little bit of a rant in some of these picks, especially in the later rounds. But I'm excited to go over each one of you guys. But before we get that, if you like what you hear tonight, please leave a like and subscribe. I always love having more people. We are over 700 subscribers already, and it just keeps going up, and it's all because of you guys. You guys make this channel so much fun and worth doing every time I jump on here. I enjoy having you guys here, and I love you guys. Now, getting into this, we are going to start with the Jets' number 1 pick, Arman Meu. Now, he's the offensive tackle from Missouri. He was 6'4", 332 pounds. He was pick 7. Now, leading up into the draft, there were multiple players that the New York Jets were targeting, it seemed like. There were rumors about Arman Meu. The Jets needed a right tackle. He's the best right tackle in the draft. Overall, I think Josh Simmons was the best tackle in the draft. He went to the Chiefs, which I thought was a great move for him. But Arman Meu, best right tackle in this draft, got him at pick 7. And the biggest need, one of the biggest needs, was tight end and right tackle. Do you go with the tackle to protect Justin Fields and solidify this offensive line, this young offensive line, for years to come and make it even better than it was last year? Or do you go with a weapon for Justin Fields in tight end? And the New York Jets went with completing the offensive line, which, honestly, I really loved. Offensive tackle wasn't as deep as tight end in this draft. And after the first round, there weren't really a ton of great tackle options. There were the ones we got in the first round, some good ones in the second round, and then it sort of fell off when it went later in the draft. And that's normally what happens. But there were some picks that, or some positions that are much deeper than others. But Arman Meu was pick number 7, and he just fits the Jets offense. When Aaron Glenn was in Detroit, how did they win? They built up the trenches, offense and defensive line. That defense was aggressive. That offensive line was aggressive and run heavy. They would run people over, and it loved from the tackles on in. And when Aaron Glenn was asked about Arman Meu, he said that he saw a little bit of Penei Sewell in him, the aggressiveness, the anger when he plays, the physicality. And that's something I love to hear, because Penei Sewell was a person when he was coming out, a lot of Jets fans, if he fell to the Jets, a lot of fans wanted him, me included. I loved Penei Sewell coming out. And I know the Jets needed lineman help that year. But Arman Meu, pick at 7, solidifies the offensive line for years to come. Now you have Arman Meu at right tackle, Elijah Vera Tucker at right guard. You got Joe Tippmann at center, John Simpson at left guard, and Olu Fashanu at left guard or left tackle. This offensive line is complete and will be the best one that Justin Fields has ever played behind, and I am so excited for it. If I were to give this one a grade, it would be an A+. I think the Jets hit it out of the park. This was the safe pick, but it was also a really, really great pick for them to solidify that offensive line and just give your franchise quarterback, because that's what the Jets are seeming like they're going to do with him, Justin Fields, solidify that franchise quarterback and give him more protection. And I love it. Arman Meu, pick 7, round 1. Welcome to the New York Jets. And this leads me into one of my favorite picks of the NFL draft for the Jets, Mason Taylor, son of the great Jets legend. And yes, I'm going to say Jets legend because I know he played for the Dolphins a lot longer, but he played with the Jets and he was the last player to play on a Jets postseason game. That is Mason Taylor, tight end from LSU, slam dunk. You got the offensive tackle in the first round with Arman Meu, and you hit it out of the park with Mason Taylor at pick 42 in the second round. He is 6'5", 251 pounds, can do everything. He's a fluid route runner, great hands, solid speed for his size as well, and just overall great hands. He does not drop a lot of passes, and the biggest thing and thing that I love, he is a willing blocker, meaning he does not mind getting his nose dirty and hitting somebody. Now, he needs to work on it. He's not the strongest guy, but with this new regime and the tight end coach being our offensive line coach, working with tight ends before, and having people from Detroit coming over and seeing what they could do with tight ends there. Look at Sam Laporta. Mason Taylor, he was mocked by a lot of people. His pro comp was Sam Laporta. This guy can do everything. And honestly, I think the Jets got a steal because after Mason Taylor run, there was a run on tight end. Harold Fainin went to the Browns. There was a lot of big name tight ends went after him, and the Jets struck it early. Again, if I were to give this a grade, it would be an A+ because the Jets have hit on two of their biggest needs, offensive tackle and tight end, and I love it. Mason Taylor, welcome to the New York Jets, a round 2 pick 42 pick. Now, leading into our next pick, and my initial reaction of this one was shocked because the Jets didn't really need a cornerback. And this one is Azarai Thomas, cornerback from Florida State. He's 6'1", 197 pounds. We got him in round 3 at pick 73. Honestly, guys, I was shocked. I thought we would have went defensive tackle. There were a lot of great ones still on the board. And I didn't think that cornerback was this big of a need. I would have rather gotten one later in the draft. But Thomas, the guy's an athletic freak. If you look at him, he is seen as one of the better cornerbacks in the draft and should have went in round 2. A lot of people mocked him in the round 2, mid to late round 2, some early round 2. And he is a lockdown press man corner. Perfect for the Aaron Glenn and Steve Wilks defense because we're going to be playing a lot of man defense. This is the guy you would want as a cornerback. And what this got me thinking was, man, we're going to have Sauce Gardner and Thomas as our starting cornerbacks and then moving Stevens to defense or to safety. All right, you can get me with that. But overall, I didn't think it was our biggest need. But again, you get great talent and a great prospect and somebody who can be a starter day one or a really solid backup as well. I think he ends up winning a starting job on this defense. And I think we have a solid young cornerback crew for years to come. I love this pick. Not my highest one. I'm going to give this one a B+ because not a position of need, but you went with a solid player, somebody who's looked at as not even falling to the 3rd round, somebody who was a sure 2nd round pick. The only reason he was there is I didn't run a great 40 time. But again, I don't care how fast you run in shorts at a combine or at a pro day. It's game speed. And when this guy was on the field, he was lockdown cornerback, and I love it. And the guy's so athletic. Didn't have all the picks and everything. Good defense, good tackler and everything. Bigger guy. I don't care how fast you are in shorts and everything, but when you get on that field, it's all about game speed, and this guy had it, and he is a damn good football player. And Dom C really loves this guy too. So if Dom C loves him, I'm going to trust that because he knows his stuff about these rookies. So Thomas, welcome to the New York Jets. He was a round 3, pick 73, and I'm happy to have him. Next guy. A guy who angered a lot of Jets fans and shocked a lot of Jets fans because this guy was not seen as being a 4th-round pick. He was seen as going undrafted on a lot of people's boards. This is Aryen Smith, wide receiver from Georgia. He's 6 foot, 179 pounds. We got him in round 4, pick 110. And there were so many good receivers on the board. Still, Jalen Royals was still on the board. Ionamore, I don't know how to say the guy's last name. You guys will correct me in the chat. But there were so many good receivers still on the board, and nobody really saw this guy going this high. So I think the Jets really reached. I think they wanted Kyle Williams, who ended up going to the Patriots a lot earlier in the draft, who was also a speed demon. But again, this was one guy who met with the Jets on the pro day, on a 30 visit. And honestly, I'm going to hold out hope for him because even though he had 10 drops last year, that is awful. He needs to work on his hands. He needs to be able to catch the ball. But he is a burner. And that's something the Jets didn't have. We had Garrett Wilson, who can do everything. We have Malachi Corley, who's a gadget player. We have Alan Lazard, who's a big possession type of receiver. We have Tyler Johnson, who can be shifty as well. We have all these players and nobody who can burn somebody, take the top off a defense. We have that now with Aryen Smith. And granted, I think it's a reach. I didn't like the drops, but he still was one of the big leaders in receptions and yards for the Georgia Bulldogs last year. And again, his quarterback was Carson Beck. And Carson Beck wasn't great last year. He did not play well. So that could have been a reason for it. But again, I'm going to hold out hope. I'm going to give this one a C because there were still so many better receivers on the board that I think he could have gone with. Jalen Royals was sitting right there, and you just passed him up. More polished receiver, better hands, better route runner. You just passed him up for this guy. And I understand for the speed, but there were so many better options in my opinion. So I'm going to hold out hope and trust this new regime. I'm going to give this one a C for Aryen Smith. So welcome, Aryen Smith. Could also be a good special teamer as well. A kick returner, punt returner, gunner. So maybe that could be useful for the Jets. I would be shocked if he was our number 2 receiver right to start. Maybe he can form into something. But again, he was round 4, pick 110. You want to take shots on guys. And injuries. Injuries was a big thing for this kid too. Cannot stay healthy. But again, we will see. I'm going to trust this new regime. Aryen Smith, welcome to the New York Jets, our round 4, pick 110. And then this gets into a really fun one. And this one shocked me a little bit too because we drafted Thomas earlier, and I thought we were going to move Stevens to safety. But man, I love this pick. And I know one of my good friends on X, Krista, loves this pick as well. We were talking about this player, Malachi Moore, safety from Alabama. He's 5'11", 196 pounds. We traded up back into the 4th round to get this guy. Pick round 4, pick 130. Guy's a monster. He is a ball hawk. He can come down in the box and light you up. He is a thumper. He is, in my opinion, a steal for the Jets because I didn't think he was going to make it to round 4. In all honesty, I thought he was going to be a late round 3, mid round 3 player. He's just so talented. He was a captain on the Alabama team, Crimson Tide as well. Just a physical ball hawk out there, knows where the ball is. And I actually think this guy could end up starting at safety next to Andre Sisco for the Jets this year. And again, making this defensive backs unit one of the youngest, but man, one of the best for a long, long time. And I loved this pick. Honestly, I would give this pick an A+ because we traded back up for him. We gave up a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit too much. But for a player like this, I am so happy the Jets made the move to go get him because I never thought he was going to make it to round 4. Honestly, with the talent that he has and just the leadership this guy can bring to a locker room, I'm so happy the Jets were able to get Malachi Moore. Welcome to the New York Jets, Malachi Moore. Love this pick. A+. Traded back up, round 4, pick 130. Welcome to the New York Jets. And this leads us into another pick. And this is where I'm going to start to get a little upset. So the next pick that the Jets had is Francisco Mauga. He is the linebacker from Miami. He's 6'2", 233 pounds. We got him in round 5, picks 162. I did not like this pick. The guy is often injured. He can tackle. He is a solid run stuffer linebacker. But guys, there was a player still on the board at linebacker who I thought could have started day one. Chris Paul Jr. He was still on the board. Why did you not go for a guy with tons of upside? I understand he might have been on the smaller side and might have fit like what a Quincy Williams does or what a Jamie Sherwood is, but the guy was so freaking talented. And honestly, with him falling, I kept saying, he's falling. Jets need to get him. Jets need to get him. He was somebody who should never have fallen. Chris Paul Jr. from Ole Miss, linebacker. And the Jets passed him up for Mauga. Mauga, I'm going to say, was solid leader in tackles on that defense. He can play inside, he can play out. Does not have great pass rushing ability, not great cover linebacker as well. Needs to work on that, but he's a good run stuffer. Knows how to hit the holes. Tends to tackle high. Needs to get his pad level lower. But I'm gonna hold out hope. I'm gonna give this one a D. I did not love this pick, honestly, and I want to try to be as fair and transparent. I've given my grades. I did not like this pick from the Jets. And I know in the late rounds, you want to take late round swings on players, but honestly, I was not a fan, especially with all the talent still on the board. And one of the biggest things as well, the Jets needed a defensive tackle. Deion Walker was falling. The Bills ended up trading ahead of us and took him, but there were so many defensive tackles that were available in the later rounds. And defensive tackle was one of our major needs on this team, and they didn't touch it. I didn't like that, because that's the biggest need we have on this defense other than the safety position. You ended up getting linebacker, which was another need, but defensive tackle should have been a bigger priority, because right now, unless Leonard Taylor III takes a giant step and ends up starting next to Quinnen Williams on that defensive line, I don't know what you're going to do. Is Nadi, the guy we got from the Chiefs, going to be your number 2 starting next to Quinnen? Do we bring back Foley Fatukasi? I would like that. But again, there was so much better talent on the board. I'm going to trust the new regime, but I'm giving this one a D. I was not a fan of this one. But again, continuing on and bringing us to the Jets' last pick in the draft, Tyler Barron. Continuing on with Miami, he's the edge from Miami who's 6'5", 258 pounds. Round 5, pick 176. We traded back up to get this guy. Edge was a big need as well. But again, I'm going to be down on this one. I didn't like this pick. Honestly, there was an edge rusher on the board who ended up going undrafted, and I have no idea why. His name's Jared Ivey. Jared Ivey, I've been a big fan of him, and congratulations to him. He signed an undrafted free agent. He signed with the Seattle Seahawks. They got a steal with him. He should have gone in the 4th round, 5th round. He's a monster. And he could play defensive tackle and defensive edge. Great tackler. But Tyler Barron, we traded back up for him, and Miami was weird with him. They did tend to move him inside and move him out, and I don't think he's big enough to be moved in on the inside. I think he needs to stay on the edge. Good run defender. Does not have a lot in the pass rushing. Honestly, though, I say that, but if you look at his pass rush percentage and pass rate, he did pressure more quarterbacks than Abdul Carter, who is the best edge rusher in this draft. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we got a steal, and maybe he's going to be the best edge rusher for years to come in this draft. But I'm not going to hold out my hopes. I'm going to give this one a D as well. Solid player, okay player, a lot to work on. But I think if you wanted to go edge, you should have went Jared Ivey here, or you should have hit defensive tackle, because there were still a good amount of them on the board. And overall, I know I'm down on these last 2 picks, but I think the Jets ended up having a solid draft, honestly. I didn't hate the draft. Honestly, I was very happy in the early rounds. And I'm not down on Aryen Smith as a lot of fans are. A lot of fans hate that pick. And a lot of fans, too, I've seen were not very happy. with a lot of the moves that this regime made. In all honesty, I think my grade that I would give this overall draft for Darren, Muji, and AG for their first time doing it, I would give them a B. I love the first two picks. I love the Mason Taylor pick and the Arman Meu pick. Biggest needs, you filled them up real quick. Malachi Moore was a steal trading back up for him for safety. Big needed defense. Azarai Thomas, I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I apologize for that. But Thomas, I really like the athlete. I love the player, but cornerback was not the biggest need at the time. But I love the player and the talent. So I think going for best player available at that point was a great move. I really love the player. Not a big fan of Mauga. Not a big fan of Barron. Bringing those grades down. And you didn't attack the defensive tackle position, which was one of our biggest needs on defense. And there were quarterbacks falling. In all honesty, I know you want Justin Fields to be your quarterback, but if he doesn't perform, why not take a chance on Shedeur Sanders or a Will Howard, who ended up going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, or a Kyle McCord, who ended up going to the Eagles, which was shocking too. You could have taken a quarterback in the later rounds. Not my favorite thing to do, or a Riley Leonard too. Not my favorite thing to do, but based on position and Shedeur Sanders too, falling all the way to that late in the draft, take a shot on him. Tyrod Taylor's not going to be around that much longer. Jordan Travis, I don't think makes this team. All right. If you took him, if Justin Fields bombs and doesn't do well with all this talent around him now, you have Shedeur Sanders at least under contract for you, who was looked at as being a top prospect, a first-round graded talent. I understand a lot of people did not like his interviews, his team interviews. He seemed to come off a little cocky. But the talent, honestly, is there. He's not my favorite quarterback in this draft, but the talent is there. He was better than Dylan Gabriel. He was better than Will Howard. He was better than Kyle McCord, in my opinion. He was better than Riley Leonard. He was better than Tyler Shuck, in my opinion, who went second round. There was no reason for him to fall. And I want to make one thing clear, too, because I know there was rumors or there was like prank calls happening, too. That's messed up. These kids have worked their butts off to get to this point. And for Jeff Ulbricht's son, former Jets coach, and now defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, for his son to make these prank calls at 21 years of age, honestly, grow up, kid. These kids, these young men have busted their butts to get to this point in their career, to finally make it. And for you to basically I don't want to say spit on them, but to tarnish that whole thing. This is their life's work in going in, and this is their dreams to make it to the NFL. Don't be a jerk and try to spoil it for them and make them feel worse than what they did falling that far. Honestly, not cool. But that's all I got to say about that. And I just went off on a rant about it. But overall, getting back to the main video, I think the Jets get a B for this draft. I liked a lot of things that they did, especially early on in the draft, but we missed on a couple of big needs. I think there were much better talent on the board for linebacker and edge rusher. You didn't even attack the defensive tackle position, so I better hope you get it in the undrafted free agency, which I'm coming up with a video too. I know that we've started making signings, and I love some of the players that we've gotten hitting positions. But overall, solid first draft. I like what AG and Muji are doing. I trust them. I'm going to see how everything goes now. Now that comp picks don't affect if you sign free agents now that they don't affect comp picks, I'm excited to see what players we start bringing in. Elijah Moore is visiting with the Bills. That could be interesting. Fully Fatakasi's still out there. Amari Cooper is still out there. Keenan Allen's still out there. These are young guys that you can bring in. Justin Simmons, Isaiah Simmons, who's somebody that I really love, you can bring in, still a ton of upside. There are players you can attack and go for. But again, guys, let me know what you think. And again, thank you so much for joining me in the Jets Ward. Have a wonderful rest of your day.